In a world where one constantly thinks of what material possessions they have and can obtain, I have come to recognize Chris Paterno as a person who focuses on giving to others more than he receives. For the many years I have known Chris, he has always been someone who puts forth passion into everything he does. He is selfless. He does more community service than anyone I know, and he thrives on helping others. I collect that his experience in serving others has made him thankful for what he has, in ways that we as students here sometimes never realize.
Some of the first words that come to mind when I think of Chris Paterno are drummer boy, Wu-Tang Malvern League basketball veteran, and community service enthusiast. But Chris is much more than this. He's the most generous and self-sacrificing individual I know. He's also the only person I know who will go up to the Community Outreach Board and sign his name in any and every available place. This action is unique because he does this not for the recognition, but because he truly cares. When I began working with Chris on his speech for today, I told him of the past and usual Thanksgiving speeches, where people often talk about their own personal traditions and rituals. However, when Chris showed me today's speech, I was surprised at the fact that he makes very little mention of himself. He chose to focus on others in his chapel speech, like he does so constantly in his own life. I hope we are all able to take something from Chris's speech today, because his time helping others has provided him with wisdom much beyond his years. So please stand to greet our friend, Christopher Sorgenti Paterno.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you, Mike. Please be seated. No longer is Thanksgiving the celebration of the infusion of cultures, but it is now the coming together of extended families, giving thanks for important things in life. Thanksgiving to you may mean the above or turkey, a table full of food, family and friends, or football. But Thanksgiving to me means a trip up to my grandparents' house, two-hand touch football with my little cousins, eating to the point of extreme discomfort, and spending time with my family. Today, I would like to share with you some other perspectives on Thanksgiving and life in general. I have two stories that should remind us all to remember to give thanks for everything that we have, big and small, tangible, and the abstract, as well as to avoid taking things for granted. Two stories of two men, worlds apart, who will be spending Thanksgiving quite differently. Once there was a time before the soup kitchens and the homeless shelters when Ryan was an addict, addicted to fast cars, drugs, and women. He was a small business owner in the Delaware County, living in a $1 million home with his wife and son, until his addictions put him in front of a judge. He was charged with rape. Held in prison for 2 years while his case was pending, Ryan lost all of his money to legal fees. Once he was released, he walked out from behind bars straight to the streets. He had nothing. No business, no money, no family, no friends, and definitely no home. As Ryan talked, I could see how the wear and tear of his daily struggle had wrinkled his face and grayed his hair. Yet as he walked, he held his head high, smiling, searching for an opportunity to start his life over. He was neither bitter nor sad, but thankful for the mistakes he had made, for they had revealed to him all that he had taken for granted in his life. He said that his mistakes had cost him everything, but had shown him how strong of a man he was. He continued with stating that he still has some things of importance in his life, though: faith in God, hope in the future, and love for himself. This Thanksgiving, Ryan will be spending his dinner surrounded by strangers, giving thanks for his strength, his perseverance, his change in lifestyle, the clothing on his back, and the temporary roof over his head. But Ryan is not alone in this struggle. His story may seem unique, but it is not uncommon. Homelessness, defined as a lack of a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence, plagues the streets of Philadelphia, affecting 15,000 people annually. It is estimated that there are approximately 4,000 persons who are homeless on any given day in Philadelphia. Stereotypically, the homeless are viewed as lazy and incompetent, begging for change when they could be looking for jobs. But a minute in their shoes elucidates their daily struggle to survive. Many are war veterans, mentally ill, or physically handicapped, and poverty and the lack of affordable housing keep Philadelphians who are below the poverty line from ever finding success. Therefore, families are forced into the streets, having to choose between the necessity of food and shelter, making the average age of the homeless only 8 years old. None of these children, these people, these families will share Thanksgiving like that of yours or mine, but all of them this Thursday will be sharing the joy of survival. My next story is of a man with a similar fate, only he lives 8,000 miles away. Jonas Kessie cannot be defined as a homeless man, although I can assure you he does not live comfortably. Jonas is one of my heroes. I met him at Kiboa, an orphanage outside of Arusha, a Tanzanian city filled with shacks, taxis with the motto, "There's always a seat for you," no matter how many living creatures are crammed inside, 50-cent references, and poverty. Although short in stature, Jonas stood tall in spirit when I first met him, welcoming me to his country and Kiboa with great enthusiasm and a gap-tooth smile. Throughout the week that I interacted with him, he was a workhorse, helping to paint, teach, build, cultivate, and occupy the children. It was not until the third or fourth day at the orphanage when I really got to know Jonas. He told me how hard life was in Arusha, stating that the unemployment rate was close to 50%, making it impossible for him to find a job as a teacher, and how the federal budget was only 11 trillion shillings, not nearly enough for any type of acceptable infrastructure. To put that into perspective, we then compared 50 cents, $32 million home to that value, and realized that his house was worth over 4 times more than Tanzania's entire federal budget. We then discussed Jonas's daily routine, a routine that I will never forget. Jonas walks or bikes, using his friend's bike since he cannot afford his own, to Kiboa, 7 miles daily. To bike there, due to the mountainous terrain and poor infrastructure, it takes Jonas an hour and a half. To walk, it takes him over 4 hours. Yet each day, Jonas arrives at Kiboa around 7:15 a.m. to help the kids get ready. He stays at Kiboa until bedtime, which is roughly 8 or 9 o'clock, and repeats his journey home, this time in the dark. He receives no pay, just 1 meal of rice and beans each day. What shocked me even more than his dedication was his faith in God and his thankfulness to just be alive and well. He lives in a country where the normal worker makes $5 a month, where there are no ghettos because the people cannot afford to live that well, and where sticks and mud are the main building materials. But yet he still praises God and thanks him for his blessings. Jonas said every day he wakes up and prays to God to keep him safe, hoping to make it through the day. At night, when he finally gets home, he thanks God for his safety and blessings, thanking God for the opportunity to live 1 more day, to walk 8 more hours, to eat 1 more meal, and to spread faith, hope, love, and joy to the children at the orphanage just 1 more time. Jonas's selflessness has stuck with me, and our friendship continues through the exchange of emails. In his first email, he sent me the following excerpt. As you know, life over here has lots of challenges, so I'm trying my best to fight against nature, though it is so difficult. Again, I would like to thank you guys for your great hearts. I'm really appreciative for the amount that you gave. It was very helpful. Although this email is brief and simple, there's a section that I cannot wrap my mind around. Jonas states, again, I would like to thank you guys for your great hearts and for the amount you gave. But we did not give Kiboa much, simply a mural, help with a chicken coop, and occupying the kids. But in return, we received 1 million thanks, friendship, and love. We were not the ones with big hearts. Jonas and the orphans were. Now, Thanksgiving is a time of remembrance. So please remember these stories as you sit down for dinner this Thursday and give thanks for the little things in life. We have been given so many great gifts, time, energy, youth, and spirit. We must use these gifts to forward our community, for we are the fortunate who have been given the opportunity to help others in need. Through my experiences with service and my observations here at school, I have been able to see the true kindness of our community. I have seen Swanson Ninen hand out candy bags to grown men and women who have been treated like trash and deemed unimportant, smile Look each individual in the eyes and greet them with respect and politeness. I have seen Connor McAwee and 8 others travel 30 hours to ruin their clothing for the betterment of an orphanage filled with the smiling faces of the ignored. I have seen Alicia Borromeo transform a child from insecure and doubting to proud in less than an hour. The things that we do each day are noted, and let me tell you, the list of people could go on and on. You have no idea how such a small effort can have such an enormous effect. We are the Episcopal Academy, a tight-knit community, and we have the power to shape the future by helping those in need now and leading by example for those that will one day be our future. Just ask Ryan. Before he walked out of the door, he turned to me and shook my hand. With a smile, he said, "God bless you, for you are my future." Thank you.